you're taking people right out of my showroom, but this is BS. And I was like, hey man, I hate it for you. You know, I'm like, we just happen to be a little bit better at digital marketing than you do. It's not our fault. You know, we're just going to keep pushing ahead. So we can actually geographically target multiple areas. We can target multiple zip codes, or we can target multiple competitors. The second thing we're going to do is we're going to set your target languages. Okay, I don't know what the population, you know, as far as diversity is where you're at, but we had a lot of luck with Spanish ads, and then obviously our English ads. But if you have a heavy Russian population or a Hebrew population or a Chinese, Japanese, whatever it may be, we can target that specific language and serve up ads to those people in their native tongue. The cool part about that is our technology, our artificial intelligence, actually speaks 60 of the known 127 languages across the world. So there isn't really a language that somebody speaks on a predominant level that our robot cannot translate directly to us and allow us to communicate with them. So for instance, let's say you run a Spanish ad and somebody clicks on that Spanish ad, they're going to text in Spanish back to us. Well, our robot's going to automatically convert that to English. You can type back to them in English, and it's going to automatically deliver that text message return to the customer in Spanish, in Russian, in Japanese, in Korean, or whichever language that may be, all right? The thing we're not going to do is we're not going to overfilter your audience. This spot right down here is called detailed targeting. This was something that Facebook had actually gotten into a lot of trouble for, because what was happening was the way they allowed you to drill it down before, people started using it to run predatory type ads. They were dropping pins in low-income communities that were known to have bad credit, and they were legitimately running predatory ads to try and sucker these people into something. So Facebook got in a lot of trouble for that. Well, the great thing about Tecobi is we've never used that detailed targeting to serve opportunities up to our clients. What we do is we use it the way Facebook designed it to be used, and that's we're going to allow Facebook to use the generational data that they've collected and let them optimize for ad delivery. And what that's going to do is they're going to deliver your ads to the right people to help you get the absolute most opportunities at the lowest cost. Okay, so we're not going to bid. We're not going to ask for a delivery type. We're going to let Facebook optimize the ad and deliver it to the people they feel, based on the footprint that person has told them, is actually going to click on the ad and go through the process with us. Here's how an effective lead gen ad structure works. There's 3 things we want to focus on when we actually put out an ad. This is from Frank Hyundai. Frank Hyundai has actually been with us 23 months of the 24 months we've been in business. If you notice here, this ad is real simple. The first step to creating a really, really good ad is just keep the offer simple and clear. We don't want to confuse people when they see our ad. So we want them to know, drive a brand new Hyundai Accent for a net cost of $97.77 after rebates. There's no confusion about what they're clicking on, right? That's a very simple and clear offer. The next thing we want to make sure that we do is we want to give them a really clear and easy call to action. If you see right here, there's no question about what they need to do to get to the next step. A lot of times what happens when people get to our website is they get there and they get what's called website fatigue. They find a car that they love, but then there's so many call to actions on that one VDP page that they don't even know where to go next. And then what happens is we end up with high bounce rates, and we don't actually get a chance to capture them while they're engaged on our website. So we're going to make it real easy, simple and clear offer, a clear and easy call to action, and then obviously they're going to know what happens when they actually respond. So you can generate any type of lead you want, okay? We actually run, our 3 main leads that we run are going to be these 3. We have new car leads. We have gotten this down. It's actually running about $13 to $28. Used car ads are running anywhere between $10 and $18. And then we're also doing buyback ads, which actually do really, really well. Anywhere between $3 and $8. Okay, so we've gotten these lead costs down. This slide deck's a little bit, about a year old. But we have gotten these lead costs down dramatically. But as you can see, our ads team, they're going to help you create the ads. They're going to come up with whatever it is that you and them decide is the best way to serve and which way you want those ads to go out. Our team's going to help you do that. LaFontaine Ford, we actually have their entire group, which is out in Lansing, Michigan. This was an ad they were running last year. Lease a new 2017 Ford Escape for as low as $169 a month. Click the Learn More button, and we will text over some details and availability. Get it all with the Ford Escape. We work with all credit situations. So this was an ad we came up with and they were averaging about $16 a lead on this ad. McCluskey Motors is our one of our best and highest performing dealer partners. They spend about $10,000 a month with us. They sell about 50 cars a month out of our program at a lead cost of about $17. Okay, they're an independent store that runs more high-line cars than most. So here's how the actual Facebook lead gen ad works. So here's again McCluskey Motors. Here's one of the ads. This one is actually a video ad. So we can either do pictures, we can do carousel, we can do a video. All right, this is actually a video ad. 2008 Cadillac Escalade is the beast on the Colorado roads. Financing for all credits. Click the video and we'll text message over more details. So this is the first thing that they're going to see in their timeline. After they click this get quote button, it's going to bring them to step 2. Step 2 is generally where we lose a lot of customers, not us, but where most third-party sites lose customers because the customer now has to fill out all of this information. Now, a lot of times the customer will either bounce off the page because they're not ready to fill out the information, or they're going to give you a fake telephone number or an email address that kind of sounds like, hey, please don't call me ever again @gmail.com. You know what I mean? So we're going to avoid that, and we've taken that away because all of this information is pre-populated, and it comes directly from their actual Facebook account. So the information that they gave to Facebook and that they verified through text and email is automatically populated into our lead gen ad form. So they don't have to fill this out. It comes directly off their page. So this is about 99.99% accurate. The last step, after they click next again, it's going to bring them to the terms and conditions. Now, what this is going to do is this is going to let them know that they are fully opting in to receive SMS text communication for marketing purposes from our dealership. Okay, we can make this say whatever it is you want. The one that we have set up is already Attorney General, TCP, and FCA compliant. We're also OEM compliant and co-opable on everything that we do. So everything we've done has been screened, checked, monitored, and we are 100% in the clear because the last thing we want to happen is to have our dealer partners get into a situation like Lithia Motors was in, where they got a $5 million fine for illegally texting customers that were not fully opted in. Any salesperson that you see texting a customer from the showroom floor from their cell phone is out of compliance. They're breaking the law, and it could turn into a lawsuit. Lithia Motors is the very first one to actually get slapped with one, but it is the second most sought-after class action lawsuit behind medical malpractice. So illegal text messaging is now one of the big lawsuits that the ambulance-chasing lawyers are going after. The last thing we want is our dealer partners to fall into that situation. So we're going to keep you safe and we're going to keep you compliant. So how long would you say it takes to generally respond to a lead that comes into your CRM? Rough estimate.
Oh, if it's during working hours, you're probably going to be, well, ideally, it was originally hour or less, but now I think that time is, they want a response within 20 minutes.
Okay. So now here's really, this is what I love. This is what I loved about the program the most. All right. So this lead came in for this customer. They sent this lead at 2/21/17 at 3:53 p.m. At exactly 3:53 p.m., literally the moment they click submit, they're going to get a response right back from our automated robot, which this first text response can be anything you guys want it to say. We can include it with a video. Hey, Mr. Customer, my name is Patrick. Thank you for reaching out to us at ABC Motors. Someone will be in touch with you shortly. So we can customize that message to say anything you want it to say. So literally that goes out right away. This also gets pushed to the CRM instantly. One of the things that we have a problem with in our industry, and it has nothing to do with us personally at the dealership, but in order, when they click on a lead on AutoTrader or Cars.com or one of those lead sites, it actually takes anywhere between 5 and 8 minutes for it to go from when they click it to where it shows up in our CRM and we get a notification. There's nothing we can do about that at the dealership level. That's between the third-party providers and the CRM companies. Well, in that 5 to 8 minutes, the customer's probably already left the web page. They're already searching another dealer's website, or they're in the middle of doing something completely different and we've lost their attention, and now we're just chasing after them, hoping that they answer the phone. Well, with this, we're getting to them immediately. So right when they say, I want information, they're going to get a text message. How much more information can I get for you? What questions can I answer for you? What did you like about the vehicle? Whatever you want it to say. So on this example, the customer texted back 1 minute later, had a whole bunch of questions, and our sales staff jumped in about 4 minutes later, not our staff, but yours, jumped in about 4 minutes later, set the appointment, customer came in 3 days later and actually purchased the vehicle. So all of the things that we do is instantaneous. We're not losing that time, and time is valuable, especially when a customer, and we're in that today's generation is very much instant gratification. I call it the drive-through generation. So everybody wants the information they want, and they want it now. So the longer it takes us to respond or get back to them, the less chance we have to convert them into the opportunity that we want. And that's obviously, we want the opportunity to make a friend, build a relationship, set an appointment, and then hopefully if we do all three of those things properly, the result will be selling a vehicle, okay? So why text messaging? Now, if you take a look at your phone right now, how many unread text messages would you say you have on your phone at this very moment?
I don't. I watch them all the time.
Right. Okay. Just like everybody else, even if you have unread text messages, you probably read them, but you might not have clicked them yet. Maybe one of your kids are complaining that the dog ran out and you don't have time because you're with a customer. Maybe the porter is telling you, hey, I'm running 20 minutes late from bringing your lunch back for you. Whatever it is, you've read it, but you may not have opened it. Very few people have unread text messages. The reason for that is because Mobile Marketing Watch and Pew Research has told us that 98% of all text messages get opened. So if we send 100 text messages, 98 of those 100 text messages are going to get opened. Whereas in comparison to email, we only have a 22% open rate. And that's if they get delivered. Because if you're noticing, I don't know if you've seen it on your side, but if you're noticing, a lot of our CRM companies are now being blacklisted as spam. So you'll see sometimes you'll send out an email and it'll bounce back for you. And the reason for that is because our CRM companies have been marked by the ISP providers as a spam delivery service. So what they have to do before that email actually gets delivered to the company, the internal, the ISP providers, they have to verify that we're not a spam company. So it could take a little bit longer than instantaneously to deliver that message. It could take them 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes to actually deliver that email. Again, in that amount of time, we've lost their attention. So why we have our staff spending hours and hours a day sending boring emails that nobody responds to blows my mind, okay? Because again, they're not getting open, and if they are, we're not getting responses to them. So why not work the way that customers want to actually work with us? I used to train my salespeople. I said, listen, guys, our goal is to customize the conversation and communicate with the customer the way that they're asking us to communicate. Most of the time, people want to communicate through text until they're ready for a phone call. I don't know how many times I've actually called a friend and they won't answer the phone, and then they'll text me right back saying, hey, what's going on? And then I'll pick up the phone, I'll call them again, they won't answer, and they'll say, hey, just text me. I don't feel like talking on the phone, just text me. Well, we're going to do that. We're going to go ahead and we're going to text these customers, and when they engage back with us is when we're going to pick up the phone and actually start trying to have a conversation with them. So again, why text messages? It's usually the first thing we check when we wake up, and it's usually the last thing we check before we go to bed. Now, unless you've got some like kick-ass vintage alarm clock, you probably use your phone as an alarm clock. I have actually finally graduated to where I wake up before my alarm clock, but if you did ask me that 5 years ago, I definitely needed my phone for my alarm clock. So we're going to make sure that, you're actually able to be more efficient with your day. So instead of spending 80% of your day chasing a conversation or chasing a customer to have a conversation with, and only 20% of your day actually having one, we're going to give you the opportunity to spend 80% of your day having a conversation and only 20% of your day actually chasing one. So here was like that this was the indie dealer group that I was telling you about. This was their very first month that they joined up with us. This was August of last year. Their very first month, they went ahead and they jumped on our $10,000 a month package. Again, this is our fully managed dealership version, okay? They spent $7,800 in ads. We reached 90,000 people in their market. Now, that's great for some, but for us, that's not what drives us. What we want to know is how many real people did we generate to give you an opportunity to make a phone call to somebody who said, hey, I want to talk right now about purchasing a vehicle. Now, at that time, they were running at about $25 a lead. the reason for that is they were running $60,000, $70,000, and $80,000 cars. Mr. McCluskey wanted to put us to task. He wanted to see if our program could move some of the most difficult inventory he has an issue moving. Well, the results that we got him for that first month absolutely blew him away. And if you notice this name right down here in the corner, that's Mike Phillips. He's the GSM. He allowed us to put his information on this slide deck so that if anybody wanted to reach out to him and verify or ask questions, he's more than willing to go ahead and do that for you, okay? So Mike is actually a big proponent of our program. He uses it, and they do very well with it. So, again, the results that they got, like I said, their first month with us, they spent $7,800 in August. They sold 22 cars. Out of the 306 leads we got them, they actually sold 22 cars. They averaged $5,000 per copy on those customers, which equaled about $110,000 in gross profit, which was obviously about a 14% return on investment. So most of the time when I tell people that just want an elevator pitch, I say, if you gave me $5,000 and I could deliver you 50 people in your showroom that allowed you to actually have a swing at selling them a car, how many cars would you sell? And generally most are going to say, well, we're going to sell at least 25 of them. I said, so if I could offer you 25 car deals for $5,000 a month, would you buy it? And 95% of them say, I would buy it 10 times over. Because the results are there, and it's measurable. It's trackable. You can see it every single moment of every single day. A lot of the third-party lead providers and a lot of these vendors, they're going to come in and they're going to tell you, well, we generated 4,963 clicks. We did 2,341,000 impressions. You should have sold 265 cars based on these numbers. Unfortunately, what they can't do is they can't provide you a name, a telephone number, or an email address for any one of those customers they said came to your dealership and bought a car because of them. The good thing about us is we can, because everything we have is 100% tracked through our system and monitored daily by our performance team. So I'm going to go back into this desktop slide so I can show you the technology itself. All right. So here is the technology itself, all right? So here's how the portal looks when it's open. Hold on, my internet's a little slow. All right. So as you can see, this is actually our Tecobi portal. We use the product the exact same way that we train our dealers to use it. So the same way that we're serving up ads for our dealer clients, we're serving up ads to get clients as well. So this is actually how the portal looks. So when a lead comes in, let's say hold on, let's find out 1 minute. All right. So here's a lead that came in. So when this lead comes in, up here, this lead comes in, automatically it's going to get this message and it's going to push over to the CRM. Now, what's going to happen is we're also going to get a text message. Everybody on our sales team, everybody in our BDC, and every one of our managers are going to get a text message directed to their cell phone saying, hey, there's a fresh lead inside the system that needs to be called. The really, really cool thing is that all of the calls inbound and outbound are recorded. Free, 100% free call tracking right here within our system.
Please leave your message for...
Now, obviously, this one didn't pick up. So what we did was on this, they didn't answer. So we said, hey, we went down here, we typed :VM, and we just hit send. We send that out, and then all we do is we wait for them to call us back. So we sent this out, and then immediately within 2 minutes, this customer called right back. And then now we have a real engaged conversation going on to actually set up a time to do a demo with. Let me show you some of the reporting, some of the cool reporting stuff that we have. So here's actually how the reporting works. So you can pull this up at any time and you can see and monitor what the team is actually doing. So here's our actual reporting for the month. So this month, we've actually, here at Tecobi, we've generated 35 new leads. We've had 22 of those new leads actually have a two-way conversation with us. So what we call an engaged lead is our robot's going to send you a text message. You're going to reply. We're going to reply. You're going to reply again. So it's a two-way conversation multiple times. That's what we consider an engaged lead. Out of those 22 engaged leads that we had, we actually set 22 demo appointments. Out of those 22 demo appointments, 19 of those actually showed up. Okay? And then it'll give you your average talk time, how many outbound, inbound, total text messages, everything. Another cool thing like I was telling you, all the phone calls are recorded. So you can go right here. If you look down on this bottom screen, this little call icon or telephone icon, you click that. You can open up any customer profile. You can listen to any phone call, look at all the text threads, or if you click on this profile button, you can actually take it right to their Facebook page and start looking at their Facebook page to give yourself a little bit of information that you might be able to use to help you build some rapport with that customer. So you're actually able to look at their Facebook page. Hey, you never know. Sometimes you see one and they have a sports team on there. Maybe you have the same sports team. So when they get there, hey, by the way, are you a Royals fan? Oh yeah, I am. Hey, did you see the game last week? Blah, 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 blah. That information to help us build rapport and get on a common ground. All right, a little feedback on that. Okay. And then there's some other cool, really cool things that we have built into the system automatically for you guys. So if you take a look down here, if you notice there's a little picture, right? So you can add pictures, you can add video, you can add all of that stuff and text it directly to your customer right through this portal. So you click the picture button, you click on whatever it is, it attaches, you type the message, you hit send, and then that picture or video is also sent. 100%. We also have this little icon down here, this little plus icon. You can archive the lead, you can send it manually over to your CRM, you can click and see which ad that they actually clicked on, or let's say you have a customer that's, hey, I'm not coming down unless I know you can get me approved. Well, we can send them a credit ad right here in the system, automatic. We can also send them directions directly to the dealership. We can send them pictures of inventory, or again, we can look at their actual Facebook profile right here from the app. Another really cool thing that I like about this is, have you ever heard of trade pending? Trade pending is kind of like V-Auto or Provision. It's not as large scale, but it's all the same data. So a cool thing that we have built into the system for you guys is, let's say you said you had a Ford store. Let's say, let's go with Ford. We're just go with Explorer baseball, okay? And it's got 60,000 miles on it. Right. So we're going to get the report. All right. We're going to open the report. Now, this report, right, you can send instant right over to your customer if they're asking, what's my worth? What do you think it's going to be worth? And all this information is sourced directly from NADA, Provision, and your most used car apps. Okay, so it's all connected together. So it's also going to show the number of vehicles that are within X amount of miles. Typically, it's within 200 miles. So we know that within 200 miles of this dealership's zip code, there's 50 of these that are available for sale. We know what the demand index is. It's a 4. It's a 4. So it's not really high in demand in that market. And the value to the dealer is going to be anywhere between $13,682 to $15,169. And then it's also going to show us on a graph. If you had lower mileage, here's what. So we can send this information directly over to a customer. And we also know that our used car manager is not going to hit the ceiling when the customer shows up and has this in their hand. Because generally this is going to be lower than what we're going to actually put in the vehicle anyway. So it's just another really cool tool that you can use to just create a little bit more engagement and actually have the customer, get more feedback. Let me show you another thing too, another really cool part of the system. So let's say you have, I don't know, 300 leads, all right? Let's say the first month you generate 300 leads, you sell 25 cars. Well, you still have 275 fully opted in leads that raised their hand at some point, said, I want to buy a car. So unfortunately, a lot of times with our sales staff, it's hard to get them to continue to follow up with them, especially haven't engaged with us. Well, what we've done is we've taken a lot of that legwork away. We go up here into the top left-hand corner. It's called creating a blast. We're going to click add blast. We're going to set all our parameters of what we want that to do. We can go oldest first, newest first, haven't had a message in 2 days, 3 days, 5 days, 10 days, whatever it may be. We're going to write in a quick, simple message. We're going to leave it with a question. Are you still in the market for a vehicle? With the click of a button, we're going to send this text message to every single lead that we have in this program. Inside of your funnel, we're going to hit them all with one button. We're going to send them all an instant text message. Hey, are you still in the market for a new vehicle? let's say you have 1,000 leads. Let's say you send a blast and you only get a 1% response. That's 10 people that just went, hey, I want to have a phone call right now about buying a car. Well, now what we know is we know which people we want our sales staff actually picking up the phone and having a conversation with. It's those people that said, hey, right now I want to have a phone call and I want to talk about purchasing a vehicle. So we're going to give that opportunity to the dealer to be able to really control the data that they have inside of their system and really, really maximize the opportunities within that system. Another cool thing that this is not something that is built into the system, but this is what we did with it. So I know you're probably really good at your after sale follow-up, but a lot of times we hear customers complain. They say, well, once they sell me the car and they get my money, they don't give a shit anymore and they completely forget about me. How many times do we hear that? Well, we actually have something that takes that away. So let's say you sell a car today, like you did. You said you delivered one today. Well, instead of having to wonder, oh, you know what? In 3 days, I got to remember to call that customer and just see how things are going. We don't have to do that anymore. We go up to this little button right here. We hit pause. We say, okay, at Monday morning at, let's say, 9:46 a.m., I want to send a message to this customer. Hey, just wanted to follow up and see and make sure everything is good with your new car. By the way, do you know anybody that might be in the market? All right. So now what we do is we set this blast. Now automatically our robot's going to know on August 7th at 11:26 p.m. or a.m. It's going to send this message to that customer and say, hey, just wanted to follow up and make sure everything is good with your new car. By the way, do you know anyone else that might be in the market? So now we've taken a lot of that after-sale follow-up out of the hands of the salespeople. We put it onto the robot, and the only time the salesperson has to worry about actually reaching out to this customer is if they text back and say, hey, I do have a problem, or hey, I do have somebody that's looking for a car. We don't have to worry about that. What we want to do is we want to create the opportunity for all our sales staffs to constantly be moving forward. All right. So if we have to spend all these hours in the CRM going backwards, we're not able to capture and really capitalize on the new opportunities that we have inside of our funnel. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that the staff is consistently moving forward and talking to the next engaged customer. A lot of times we don't get that from our CRMs. I am not one of those people that bash CRMs. I actually really do like the CRM, but I think this is a wonderful tool that works in cooperation with our CRMs. Okay, you're going to spend way less time working out of this system than you have to out of your regular CRM, and you're going to get a lot more engagement and a lot more activity in less time. So what this actually allows you to do is it allows you to work harder and work smarter, not harder. Instead of having to chase, how many emails do you have to send a day? How many tasks do you have right now inside your CRM? Well, normally per day when you walk in.
I close them out the day before, so when I come in, I might have 20 tasks.
Okay, you're a lot better than most, I'll tell you that. A lot of times we'll see CRMs, let's say you take a day off, you come in, you got 65, 70 tasks, and you're like, oh, geez, I got to go through all of this stuff. And sometimes you'll see it's customer that's inquired 6 months ago, they haven't answered any email, any phone call, but we still got to call them 3 times and send them 2 emails and send them 3 text messages all through the CRM, even though they haven't engaged with us. Instead of worrying about that one, we're going to put them into the blast, send them a text blast, hey, you still in the market for a new car? And then we're going to move on. Once they re-engage with us, and yeah, I'm still in the market for a new car. Boom, we pick up the phone, we make a phone call to them. Instead of spending all our time chasing people that are not engaging, we want to talk to people that are engaging. And that's what this technology allows you to do, all right? So I'm going to show you a few of the pricing stuff. And just kind of how, hold on, let's share the screen now. There we go. There we go. All right. So we can do any kind of leads that you want. We can create new car leads, used car leads, lease specials, finance specials, buyback, subprime, whatever the dealer can come up with, we can customize and make that happen for you, right? Like I said, we have 3 different packages. This is on the dealership level. I do have an individual package that I'll show you as well. So on the individual packages where we do the fully ad, the full ad, the marketing, we have our text ninjas help you set appointments, etc. Starts at 5,000. On average, you're going to get 200 plus leads. You're going to get about 60 extra appointments, anywhere between 9 and 14 car deals on that money. 10,000, obviously it's going to go up. 15,000, it goes up from there as well. As a salesperson, we do have a platform that does where you can just use the software. You create your own ads, you plug them into your Facebook page, and then you can start using the software to help build your sales funnel. You can also take any of your leads that you currently have, you can add them into our system and start working those leads through our system. That's a $995 total amount. We do have a $495 setup. If you're a regular salesperson, you're signing up for this, I can waive that setup fee, but it's $995 a month, and this gives you unlimited users, unlimited text messages. You get 20 tracking telephone numbers, so you don't actually have to use your cell phone number. We're going to give you a masked telephone number that's going to connect to the system. So if they ever call, they're going to call that number. Although it's still going to go to your cell phone, it's going to record within our system. All right? We're going to give you Facebook lead generation. We're going to be able to send video links, schedule appointments, schedule mass follow-up. You'll still have the click to call. You'll be able to collaborate with your team, talk with them back and forth. You'll still have the activity reports, monthly reports. You can still send credit apps, schedule text message to customers, and you can also do smart inbound call routing. So you can route it to your office line or your home phone, whichever way you want to do wherever you're working for that day. And then we'll also give you a website widget. If you have your own personal widget, we can actually add our text chat widget to your website to where anything that comes in through that chat would be worked through our system as well, right? So we take it, like it says at the bottom, we take text messaging very seriously. We do it ourselves. We work out of it the same way that we train dealers to work out of it. And, we have really good success with it. So like I mentioned to you the other day, and you saw, on the Facebook posts, it is one of those programs that I saw immediately and I said, wow, this is next level stuff. And the way that Jason's passion is for not only this product, but for this business, just told me that I wanted to be a part of it. As soon as I had the chance to bring it into my dealer group, I couldn't wait to get it in there. We got it in, and now, even though I'm no longer with that group, they're still killing it. They have 11 stores. They sell about 170 cars a month on a $30,000 spend. They have by far better ROI from Tecobi than they do any other lead provider that they have. Better than their own website, which is, few and far between. So I think it's one of the best solutions out there. I think it allows us to be more efficient. And it allows us to take a little bit more control over our funnel and over our data and really, really drive that business that we're looking for. And that's somebody that wants to come in and buy a car, not somebody that just wants to click on a website.
Okay.
So, now I know obviously you're on the sales side. This is something I think is beneficial for an entire dealership. But again, obviously I understand how a lot of dealers are. They get very skeptical of the new kid on the block, and sometimes they want to see it in action before they increase any kind of spend. Here's what I always say. Like I said, if I can deliver you 20, 25 extra car deals a month for $5,000, would you buy it? And most of them say, yeah, I would. And again, they would probably buy it 10 times over. So it is the best technology solution for long-term, short-term follow-up and for efficiency.
Okay, well, I've recorded this whole thing. I like what you got here. I guess I had a misunderstanding when it said $995. I thought, well, if I could buy the whole software for $995, and I thought there's a one-time fee, I said, I'm pretty much in on that. But $995 a month is quite an investment to make as a salesperson for myself.
And it really is. A lot of times, what I was able to do, and I have a couple salespeople that signed on, was I told them, I said, listen, what you want to do, I'll waive the setup fee because obviously I understand what it's like to sell cars. I was in retail for 21 years, so I get it, okay? What we always did was we tried to see if we could get the dealership to pay for half, the salesperson pays for half, and then we actually moved them from that technology to a fully managed version. Once we move to a fully managed version, you don't have to pay for the technology, obviously, because we're already into a fully managed package. So what I always recommend to sales staff is show it to the general manager, show it to the GSM, the marketing director, whoever it is that is in charge of controlling the actual spend, and let them know. Say, hey, listen, I'm willing to put up half of my money if you're willing to cover the other half. And let me show you how much more efficient I can become with this program.
I like it. I like it.
You know? So that's the ultimate goal. At the end of the day, like you and I had discussed on our very first phone call, this will make us more efficient. And at the end of the day, as salespeople, our biggest asset we have is our time. We can't get it back once we lose it. And if we can become more efficient with it, we can generate more business. We can sell more cars. We can make more relationships. We can serve more customers.
I agree.
You know? So I'm going to send you, what's your email address? So I'm going to send you all the stuff that we just went over. I'm going to send it to you in email so you have it as well. And then if your GM or your marketing director, if they have any questions for me at all whatsoever, I am available from 9 in the morning to 11 o'clock at night Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. They can reach me anytime.
Okay. So
About 11:30 I go to bed, so
Yeah.
anytime after, I'm out.
okay.
What's your email address?
D is in Dan.
Yep.
Gilmore, Gilmore,
Yep.
numerical 54 at Yahoo.
At Yahoo. I got you. All right, give me about 15 minutes. It takes me about that long to get everything, just put into the email. I'll send it over to you. And again, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach back out to me. And I always advise Monday morning, if you guys have a meeting, say, hey, boss, listen, I got this great thing that I want to show you. You got 5 minutes. Yes, cool. Here's what it is. I've already talked to one of their national sales executives. He'd love to show it to you further if you have some time. That's the only place we got to start. Once we get that, I can start showing them the power of it on their side of it too. And 90% of the dealers that look at it, they go, wow, we need to figure out how to make this a part of our process.
I like it. All right. Okay,
I really appreciate your time, buddy. Do you have any specific questions for me?
I do not at this point in time. Well, I do. When you said you're going to send something to me email, are you just going to send pricing, or are you going to send this whole?
I'm going to send you a case study.
Okay.
I'm going to send you pricing, and then I'm going to send you that slide deck that I just went through with you as well.
Okay, cool. All right.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend, buddy, and we'll circle back around. I'll circle back around with you on Wednesday just to see where we're at, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, bud. Have a great weekend. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you for your time.
Bye.
Bye.
This is kick-ass. This is fucking kick-ass. This is really fucking kick-ass. I'm gonna tell you it's kick-ass. I mean, it is kick-ass stuff.